Business, sex, feminism, life. Totally uncensored. Welcome to the womOwned podcast. We have shit to say and you're gonna want to hear it. I'm Elena.
I'm Janelle.
I'm Pamela.
Pamela's back!
Yay!
Today is our episode on mental health. All three of us have had our own struggles with mental health and our well-being in business and personal life, etc. So we believe it's an important thing to talk about, and so we want to share with you our experience. We'd love it if you would comment and share your experiences. Join the conversation. We want to talk about this. The more we talk about it, the more we normalize it and make people more comfortable and have less struggles in their life.
Ending the stigma around it is really, really important.
So
Absolutely. No more shame.
No.
We're all fucked up somehow now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah. So it's better to talk about it, get it out there, and help one another through it, really.
So, where do we want to start at the beginning?
I guess maybe the past.
Pam, when was your first kind of indication you think that you had struggles with mental wellness?
You know, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, like, I honestly believe it was, like, elementary school, if I really think back. At first I was like, maybe it was in my really difficult marriage, but no, it was before then, because I remember my mom having such a hard time kind of dealing with my moods, you know? So I'm pretty sure that I think that I struggled since quite young, probably 12-ish. That's what I would say.
Do you know, like, do you remember anything from when you were 12 that,
Yes.
like, is a moment where you're like, oh, that's what that probably was?
I think it first presented itself as anxiety. Now that I know what anxiety is, I think that it was like I would just not want to answer the phone at our family home, and I was like, why are you not answering the phone? Like, it's a phone. What? Like I had fear about answering the phone.
But you also had some guilt around it. Like, why can't I just answer it?
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Exactly. I felt really ashamed almost, like. And then I didn't want to talk to anybody. It really escalated to being, like, very, very, very shy and not wanting to speak to anybody that I didn't know. And then I was like, what's wrong with you? So and then I internalized all that. And yeah, when I look back, that was definitely anxiety. And it would have been nice if someone else would have kind of helped me to know what that was. Yeah.
How about you, Janelle?
I've always thought it happened kind of in adolescence, but now that you're mentioning it, I'm like I wasn't a shy kid, but I definitely had, like, very public anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't order my own food
Me
at
neither.
the restaurant, and I remember one time, like, going out for lunch or supper with my parents, and I really, really wanted ketchup for my fries, and they were like, well, ask the waitress for ketchup, and I was like, fuck it, like, I will just eat my ketchupless fries.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Oh,
My
me as
daughter's
well.
like that.
Yeah.
My son is as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for him to verbalize what he wants.
Yeah. So I think, but yeah, I just remember always being like, like moody, having, like, kind of depressive episodes, like a lot of kind of anger, I guess, too, which is also a part of depression.
Yeah, me too. I was very moody. I was, and I remembered my friends around that age. They seemed appeared happy, and I was like, why are you so moody? Why do you feel so down? Why does it feel so, like, gloomy?
Or, like, why does it seem like they're not struggling the way that I am?
It made me feel.
Yeah,
It made me feel alone.
Yeah.
I felt alone a lot at those young ages.
Yeah.
How about you, Elena?
I was very recently diagnosed with ADHD, and since understanding what that looks like in girls and women and doing a lot of research and reading about it, because I find it now just very interesting, I now see so many things from my childhood that were definitely ADHD that no one was seeing, because my mom, when I mentioned it to her, but you could focus for hours on art. And that's the thing with
That's the
ADHD
thing,
is
yeah.
you can hyper-focus on things you enjoy.
And the things you enjoy, yeah.
And the things you don't enjoy, it is essentially impossible
Yeah,
to do.
it's like excruciating.
And that showed up in ways like, you know, losing time. So I would walk home from school, and I had about a 5-minute walk from school. It took me 20 to 30 minutes to get home.
Oh.
It was because every rock, every butterfly, every whatever interests me, and it was like, ooh, that's cool. What kind of bug is that?
Yeah.
And you know, it was just like an eccentricity about myself.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, that was definitely ADHD. And in grade 1, actually, even further back, kindergarten, I was always at the back of the line. And I was always late, I was always slow. I remember going home with bruises on my wrist one time from my kindergarten teacher dragging me to the front because I was too slow. And in grade 1, I was so slow. Yeah, in grade 1, I was so slow every morning recess, putting on my snowsuit, that the afternoon recess, I would have detention every day for all of grade 1.
Teachers need to be aware.
Yeah, because now in hindsight, like, I didn't need detention. I needed someone to be like, "Hey, coat now," which is so redundant, but it's what I needed.
But you needed it, exactly. You definitely needed it.
You needed a hype
and
man.
you didn't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going forward into business, it's impacted my business, and that I struggle to complete the necessary but tasks that are not interesting, like doing my taxes and like just background paperwork gets put to the back burner, and no matter how important it is and how important I know it is, I struggle to do it anyways.
And then for me, same. We've talked about that. I have that whole shame, fear thing. Then it takes me longer. Then I get, and I'm just like, I end up not doing it. Then I'm like,
and then you
you're
feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And then you're not doing it even more. And then it's just that vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's that shame spiral.
It's not good.
Yeah. And the more you guilt yourself, the more you're anxious about it, the more difficult it is to do.
And I'm really glad we're talking about that, because that's something that I've actually never heard. I mean, maybe people have talked about it, but it's something I've never heard people in business talk about. And I think that I think that's really important. Like, let's talk about the things that, like, we're human.
Yeah.
And those are, like, our mental health comes with us wherever we go, even in our businesses. So we need to, like, support one another. Like, if you're having trouble doing those things, excuse me, if you're having trouble doing those things, you're not alone. And we've been there.
Yeah.
You know, had I known that someone else was, like, unable to make phone calls and different things, maybe we wouldn't have spiraled into this shame.
Yeah.
And
At
it
least
wouldn't have
the
taken
guilt
us
part.
so long.
The guilt part wouldn't be there as much.
Yeah.
I came across a podcast called ADHD for Smartass Women.
Okay.
And it's awesome. They also have a Facebook group by the same name.
Nice.
And one thing that Tracy Otsuka pointed out was that people with ADHD are 6 times, I think it was, more likely to become entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess because we hyper focus on the things we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we love a lot of things.
Yeah, and we don't do well with, like,
Paperwork.
people telling us what to do, or traditional.
Timeliness.
No.
Attendance, absenteeism is always a huge thing, and I remember one of our earlier podcasts talking about, like, how I was a terrible employee because I just couldn't show up, and I attribute that to my mental health, but I also just recently was diagnosed with ADHD, with the inattentive kind, which was previously known as ADD, attention deficit disorder, and that's part of that is just, like, the time, like, the losing time thing.
Yes.
Always
and
being
just, like,
late.
the pressure to show up and all those kinds of things. And for me, I find for my business, and you know what, actually for you too, like, we're always starting something new.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you much more often than me. But, like, I do branding and web design, so, like, every client is a brand new thing, and I'm like, and it's.
Oh, I thought you meant new businesses all the time.
Oh, also new businesses.
But as am I. Like, even in the shop, I'm like, I want to do this for the shop and do that, and I want to start different businesses all the time, but I had to rein myself in because it's like, you know what, you can't, it's the follow through.
Yes, the follow
through. You gotta
is
stick to one thing, follow it through
hard.
sometimes, and yes.
Having ADHD, which I think has been masking as anxiety and depression for
all three of us.
For all three of us, for all of our fucking lives.
Yeah.
I've been on Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant, for like almost 10 years now, and it works. Like, I can definitely tell the times I've been off of it and the times I've gone back on, it's helpful. But I never felt like it quite
got you right.
Got me all the way.
Yeah.
And part of that, and I've always felt this like underlying current of anxiety, and so I'm starting on week 3 of my ADHD meds, and I have not felt anxiety. And like
that is so wonderful.
Yeah, and like 2 weeks, like
that is really
wonderful. And I've been getting back into work, and so I have all these clients that are like, "Hey, where's my shit?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I was like kind of losing my mind for a while."
But maybe you're able to handle it better.
And so I've just been like, this is the stuff, and I'm actually getting things done and returning things on time.
So
whereas
glad.
Before, like, I would have so much anxiety about disappointing my clients that would paralyze me, and then that whole shame spiral happens again.
And none of us in our businesses and in our lives want to disappoint anybody.
No, of course not.
Like, that's just we don't.
And
that's
it
not
causes
who we are.
like almost like inner turmoil.
It does. It's actually suffering.
Yeah.
It's mental suffering.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
And you add like clinical depression into that, and it's and anxiety. There's all these things, and the spectrum of it. And I do really want people to be easier on one another and understand, like, in business
themselves.
Yes. Yeah. And business is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
What's been your experience with meds?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still not there yet. Like, I'm still, still seeking the right therapy. Still, listening to you guys getting your diagnoses, though, like, I'm not trying to self-diagnose myself, but I really do think that I know that I have ADD. Like, many people have said that to me in my life, but I've been on antidepressants, and now I'm on the one that works for me. I've tried many that weren't good at all and actually made things worse, and I didn't realize it. And so, but it's just not enough. Like, it's just not like, I'm not as depressed. I can get out of bed, that kind of thing, because it gets really bad.
Yeah.
But I do need a little more. So I'm still on the journey, really.
Yeah. I mean, we all really are.
Yeah.
And we're all going to need adjustments as time goes by, and that's the thing, too. It's never, this is the answer, and all better.
It was really important for me, like, when I knew that we were going to talk about this today, to encourage people to not give up, because I've been to, in my life, probably, honestly, like 20 different medical health professionals about any number of things, and many times was given the wrong help. And I'm not putting down anybody in the medical field at all. I love you guys. I'm glad you're out there.
It just takes time to find.
It takes time to find the right, like, therapy, counseling, like, all of that kind of stuff, and medication. So I really want to encourage people not to give up and to advocate for yourself, because sometimes you can be made to feel like you're already feeling so low and so down, and then you go somewhere and they like, maybe they don't know how horrible you're feeling inside, but then they talk to you and you kind of feel like, I shouldn't say this, but you have got to advocate for yourself. You have to. If you don't feel like something is right, please don't give up on yourself. Say, no, I need a second opinion, or no, I need you to listen to me. I'm not well. You know, like, I really want to say that.
I know I need this help.
Yeah, because I didn't know that until I really had to do it.
My experience with medication has been, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've tried a few different types of antidepressants. Most recently landing on sertraline. That definitely has helped me a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. I described it as, like, it brought me from, like, a 1 or 2 out of 10 of, like, misery. Up to, with the dose I'm at now, like, around a 6 or 7. Which I was like, that's good. Like, I feel like no one's, like, at a 10.
But why can't we be?
All the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But discussing my mental health and going through with an ADHD diagnosis, I got Wellbutrin added to my sertraline.
Yes.
Which adds dopamine and epinephrine to help treat the ADHD symptoms, and I've felt a massive difference. I don't think I definitely know it needs more adjustment. I'm feeling like a little burnt out mid-afternoon, and I know it shouldn't be causing that, so I need more discussion. But even with where I'm at, the difference it has made in the last month is astronomical. I've, the first thing that I noticed was like, I just did 6 loads of laundry in the last 2 days.
Like when you were texting the things that you were doing, it was just like both of you were just giving me hope. Like it was just, it just was so joyful to see.
And I feel like neurotypical people would be like, "What do you mean? Like, of course you put it away.
Like, of course you put the laundry away.
Like, doesn't everyone put their laundry away?"
It's a big thing
it's like,
to even
no.
be able to do laundry.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It really, really is. I did want to say, like, we are not medical professionals, just so you know. We're just sharing our personal experience. So, like, please don't.
Yeah, this is not your answer. This is our path to our answer.
Yeah, we're just hope
But
that we can inspire you to take that, to keep on your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're not feeling like you're where you should be, if you're feeling like you're not reaching your full potential, or like, these things should be easy, but I'm struggling, like, do your research.
Ask for help.
We've researched for ourselves.
Yeah, and having that education, knowing the symptoms, and being able to talk to your doctor from a place of of confidence helps a lot. Because if you go in and you're just like, I don't know, like maybe
I just don't really feel good. Isn't really enough of an answer.
And they're not going to give you drugs.
You only get
for
15
that.
minutes or 10 minutes sometimes in an office.
Yeah.
Like typically.
I'm very fortunate, and my doctor is a really good listener.
Yeah, and that's good. Finding a good doctor that'll listen to you. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I also want to say you deserve a good doctor. Like, I didn't even know that in my life. Yeah. You deserve somebody who cares about your entire well-being, not just your mental health, your physical health, everything. Mm-hmm. All of it. It's a right we have as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's negatives and positives to mental health.
Yeah.
Most people focus only on the negatives. We are going to talk about the positives, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like that.
But some negatives. Have you had it affect your relationships, either of you? Or do you feel like that's had impact on your relationships?
Oh, yeah. Like romantic relationships and such? And
or
friendships.
Parenting or friendships.
And parenting.
All of it.
Yes, I'm gonna admit something that I hate so much. I feel like I'm just gonna admit something. I feel like I'm a super terrible friend because of my mental health. Because like I want to be there. I want to be at the special dates, the things that I miss. It's okay. I just hate that.
Yeah.
It's where if you know me, which you two know me. You see that part about me. Like
I know you care.
I care so deeply, and then I'm like in my house, I'm letting my friends down, But then I'm like I can't go. Yeah. But you two have been you two have made it so beautifully easy to just be myself, because you don't make me feel bad, you don't make me feel ashamed, and you understand.
And both of us have also done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
one of the first times Elena invited me to her birthday party. Yeah. I was so excited. Nico and I got all dressed up. We showed up at Hermano's, and out of nowhere I had an anxiety attack, and we left before Elena even got there.
Yeah.
And I had to message her and be like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I know, I'm one of your best friends and I want to be there, but I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, but I cannot be there with you right now.
And I think my response was essentially like, I love you and I'll see you another day.
Yes, you too. Exactly. I want to thank you. I've never met anybody like you do, because other people do take it so seriously. Like they think that I'm trying to hurt them, and the last
you just
thing,
don't
if
care.
You know me, I don't want to hurt a fly.
And that's another symptom of ADHD. Actually, is that hypersensitivity and those hyper emotional responses.
Yeah.
We're incredibly empathetic, incredibly
I feel everything from everyone.
Sympathetic, sensitive people.
I had a hard time going to my own son's grad because of my social anxiety that I was feeling. I went, But it was my own son's grad. Can you imagine? I was shaking. I wanted to throw up, but I made it there. But I really, really struggled there, and that has been a negative.
Yeah.
A big time, and I hate that. I want people to know. If you know me, I really do want to be there.
And same with lateness. I've heard so many people say that if, like, it is a personal affront to them.
Yes.
That if you are late to meeting them, it is
disrespectful.
disrespectful and you just don't care enough about my time.
Oh, that's a big one for me, too.
I'm late for everything, and it does not matter how much I love or care the person or how important the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there on time.
And I'll be honest, when we first got together, it did bother me. Like, I was raised to be very, very punctual, and it was about respect and stuff. And I just, like, you know, expected, and then I don't know at what point it happened, but I was like, this isn't about me. You know? And she'll get here when she gets here.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not the end of the world. So, like, even on my wedding day.
Janelle, not me!
Even on my wedding
day. Oh, my God.
Like, Elena was late.
So was I.
I was bringing the snacks.
She was
So
bringing
was
the snacks,
I,
and she was
sweetheart.
late, and I was like, whatever.
She'll get here.
She'll get here when she gets here.
You know what? I want to say something to anybody who ever listens to this. Janelle said something. I don't know if you know how much this meant to me.
At the shower.
Yeah, and to Elena, I don't know if you know how much this meant to me, but if people can get this, if you know anybody that has mental health issues or anxiety or struggles with being on time and you don't know why, Janelle said to us it was part of our magic, and it you have no idea what that meant to me. Like, you have no idea the guilt that it just lifted, because it was like, she understands we don't want to hurt her.
Yeah.
We don't want to hurt anyone. We're just late. And when we know we're late, it makes us later. Usually.
Yeah, the pressure.
We're scared. We don't want to.
The pressure is worse.
It's part of our magic, she said.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, because that always sticks with me now.
Yeah, because the same thing that leads us
and
to
I can be on time. It's not that I can't ever be on time. but
it's real hard.
I'm often late.
But the same thing that, you know, that loss of time and stuff.
Yeah.
We have creativity, that empathy, that sensitivity, all those things, like innovators, inventors, people who change the world often are people with ADHD. Like, you think Albert Einstein
amazing, right?
or Thomas Edison, like, you think they were like totally normal, not fucked up people.
Probably
not. Those guys. Yeah, and like and one of the reasons why the podcast ADHD for Smart Ass Susan is like, what successful women with ADHD do you know?
Right.
And probably lots.
But we don't know.
Don't know that
we
they
don't
are.
know. Yeah, that's right. We don't know.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it. You got to talk about it.
And the amount of women in particular who are undiagnosed is massive.
Massive.
Probably just...
And a big part of that is especially because, like, 20 years ago, they were only identifying the ADHD, very rarely the ADD, which is now the inattentive type of ADHD. So they only caught it in primarily boys because they were the ones who would more visibly cause problems for other people in school.
Okay.
And then the teachers would talk to their parents about like, oh, they're disrupting the class, they're not paying attention, and they're, you know, making sounds, and they're
just
all over the place. They won't sit still, and those got caught rather than the daydreamers who were
or the chatterboxes.
Which
Little
was
Miss
totally,
Social Butterfly. Shut up.
And I just would draw all the time. So I was quiet, but I was hyper focused on something that was not school, and I did poorly in school.
Yeah.
And see, I did really well in school.
Yes.
And that's why I was like,
you thought, well, I can't have this.
like even my mom now, like she was an educator for 30 years. I'm sure it kills her to think that she might have missed that.
Yeah.
But like nobody
knew.
Nobody was paying attention to that.
And people didn't have the info even now about just mental health, period.
No.
In any sense. You know. Thank God we do.
Okay. Do you want to talk about life hacks?
Or the positives that we've gained from our mental health issues. Maybe that's a good thing to do.
For me, I know that a big part of my ability to have empathy for other people and their experience has to do with how much struggles I've gone through. and seeing how hard life can be and look easy to other people
Yeah.
gives me a lot more empathy around seeing other people seeming to do good and then failing in ways that maybe impact me.
Yeah.
It's easier to view it as not an affront, not at me,
Yeah.
but simply their own struggle and
Yeah,
their
something
path
they're doing.
they're on. It's not about me.
Yeah.
I also think like my daydreaming and my doodling kind of led me to my passions around art and doing nails and
Absolutely.
I have inventions of sex toys going on in the back of my
Right?
mind, and
She's always had something going on like that.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
So I feel like I don't think I would have that if it wasn't for this little bit of ADHD dreamer, like
Yeah.
losing my train of thought and going, oh, you know how we were just talking about driving in a car? You know, vibrators are, like, it's just, and my brain will jump, and it would make no sense to anyone else, but it actually ends up, there's, like, little connections that take me from this to this that would make no sense out loud, but in my head, I'm like, that's how I got to there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to hold a conversation, but I do think it has benefited me in a lot of ways with that creativity.
Absolutely.
100%.
How about for you, Janelle?
I would say I was actually going to say the exact same things: creativity and empathy, especially for the work that I do. Well, in the way that I want to do it, I want to get to know people. I want to know.
You're exceptional at that.
I want to know, what makes them like excited to be alive. I want to know what makes them absolutely miserable. I want to know why they do what they
That's
do
why
and
you're
what
so
they want to
exceptional at
avoid.
what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that story. I just love you too.
I also think that ADHD is a big part of why nails were such a good fit for me, because it kept my hands busy. I'm doing the art
Right.
physically.
And you can do something different.
And it's different all the time. And even when I'm doing the monotonous things that are the same on every person and could otherwise like have my mind drifting and losing focus, I'm chatting, I'm talking,
Yes.
and I hate superficial, like,
You like
so
deep.
how's today?
You like going deep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like, let's talk about sex.
We
We're
all
going
are
to
like
talk
that.
about
We're deep.
religion. We're going to
Yeah.
get into
We're
the
pretty
deep
deep people.
topics. I don't want to talk fluff.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk
And-
about the weather, really.
No, it's not like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll do it.
I'll complain about the weather here and there. Like,
Yeah.
nobody likes winter here. But, no, like, I want those deep conversations. And I think that's one of the reasons I've really flourished in doing nails. Because I can
Absolutely.
get to know people,
Yeah.
which is probably my favorite part of my job. And I get to do
yeah.
art
Yes.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
All right. Well,
And- yeah.
Elena's just gonna speak for me for the rest of the show.
For me, the positive things, something that I just kind of realized sitting here was like being in the battle to find help has actually given me a lot of strength. Even though like my mental health issues have been really shitty and horrible and like terrifying and stuff, it's given me the strength to advocate for other people. It has helped me expand like creatively, because like you have to figure out different ways sometimes, and believe it or not, being so like broken in some ways has helped me to be stronger for others, stronger for myself. It's helped me find like more fight.
One of the positives is building the strength and stuff. To get better, get yourself out of those periods. What would you say is your like number one mental health hack to get yourself out of like the absolute terrifying pit
Of hell.
of hell and depression?
Something I really had, wow, that's difficult. I would say I am still learning to really reach out. Like, because I never would. Because I've always been a person that people come to, that I love. I love being there for people. It actually gets me out of my head to help other people.
I find that too.
Like,
and it's easier to organize someone else's life than it is to organize
and
my
it gives
own.
me joy to help people. I don't know. It just I have deep empathy for people. I love people like me. You know that's about me. So I mean, it's pretty obvious. But yes, I have learned I must reach out for help when it gets too dark. I just have to, and that's the number one thing that I've learned.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it by myself. I just can't.
What are your hacks?
I would say I've just learned to be really kind to myself, and just not have that judgment, like,
Allow yourself the rest you need.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a big
like,
one.
I know what I'm capable of when I'm feeling well, and if I'm not capable that day, it means I'm not doing okay, and
that's
it's okay for me to just not
be okay.
not be okay.
That's huge.
Some people thrive on being hard on themselves, and I'm the absolute opposite.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me either.
Yeah.
No, I recently realized that I will like self-punish by not letting myself do a task that also needs to be done but I'll enjoy more because I haven't done another task that I don't want to do, and then I'll do neither, which is not helpful.
Right.
So I'm working on not doing that and just like, you know what, if I have energy to do the task I want to do, then just do that because it's better than doing nothing.
And then you might ride that energy.
Exactly. And
Especially
feel
if it
that
feels
dopamine
better.
release and that excitement of like, I accomplished something, and then have a little bit more ability to do the other thing that I'm struggling with. So that's big for me.
Absolutely.
One of my biggest symptoms of my mental health difficulties tends to be struggling to do the small things. So I often struggle to like wash my face, brush my teeth, shower, do really the simple things that like should be easy or often. Drink water, eat. Yeah. So I've found a few like little things that help me with some of those. So for me personally, it is way easier for me to fill a bath and lay there for an hour than it is for me to go and like think about standing for as long as I need to wash in the shower, and I don't even know why.
Everybody's different.
Is.
Yeah, everybody's different.
I've also found standing in front of the sink and washing my face properly and having the water splash, and like I can't handle it a lot of the time. That's an ADHD thing. It's like a sensory thing.
It's a sensory thing, yeah.
And I've recently discovered micellar water, which is sold at like every drugstore, every company has one. It is a lifesaver.
When you just can't get out of bed even.
Yeah, it is
just feel
literally like essentially water you don't have to rinse after, and it will remove makeup.
Feels amazing.
Wow.
So
it's wonderful. You need some.
So I literally keep it beside my bed
Yeah.
with cotton pads, and if I don't have the energy to go into the bathroom and deal with washing my face, I can lay in bed and feel like my skin is clean.
Yes.
That has made a huge difference for me. And baby wipes. Sometimes that is just like, at least I don't smell.
Yes.
At least I, we're talking about the hard truths here.
Because it can get very, very dark, very hard.
Yeah.
Very.
And if you can't eat, order, like you can't make your own meal.
If you can order, please order something.
Keep granola bars or chips or, whatever you can just like grab and eat.
Some food is better than no food.
Because when you're not drinking water, you're not eating, you're not doing anything.
This is one of my mental health life hacks, because when I get dehydrated,
everywhere.
because I won't remember to drink unless it's literally in my fucking hand.
Yeah.
Boost drinks also have been a huge lifesaver for me, who doesn't have time to stop for breaks a lot of the time. Having a Boost drink, it's not great. I wouldn't call it a meal replacement with any deliberate action,
nothing,
but it is so much better than nothing.
That's the thing. Sometimes it's just better than nothing, and congratulate yourself for doing something for yourself.
Just something small.
I would love to suggest we do a second episode one day about how to help the people in our lives help us.
Yeah.
Help people with mental health issues.
I think
that would be a very good idea, because some people are very lost.
And on that note, we'd like to invite you to comment and share your experiences, positive, negative, with any mental health issues that
We'd love to hear from you.
Have you had luck with meds? Have you found yourself better off with therapy?
Yeah.
Any genius life hacks that we can borrow next time?
Yeah. Because the more
and we'll share them. If you have some good ideas, we'll be happy to share them.
Absolutely.
Especially our fellow women business owners, but I mean anyone. If you have something that's going to help anyone else, please share.
Yeah.
So, on that note, please check us out on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us and like and comment on everything, and our YouTube channel as well, and go to womOwned.com. You can find us as womOwned everywhere.
Like and subscribe. And I just wanted to say one last thing. This is going to air in December, and I just wanted to point out that December is a tough month for a lot of people. So let's just try to remember to check on everybody. That's all.
Beautiful.
Please.
And if you need a dress, the Foxy Shop, like these 2 dresses are available.
Got this witchy
Shameless plug.
Christmas witch vibe.
Thank you for joining us, and please
Thank
stay
you.
with us.
Yeah, we've got shit to say, and you're going to want to hear more.